NHRA Mellow Yellow drag racing experience exploding into your living room today. Summit Motorsports Park in Norwalk, Ohio, home of the Summit Racing Equipment Nationals, where Ron Capps and Alexis DeJoria, two sub-4 second funny car drivers, come to the starting line on a cool night here in Norwalk. John Kernan.
In the pit with Cruz Pedregon, currently qualified 8th, and his car is not out in the staging lanes. In fact, it's already up here put away for the night. Cruz, why are you not going to make this final qualifying pass?
Well, we just felt like it was best to get ready for tomorrow. I mean, we don't race in the daytime. We didn't think the track could really hold any really good runs, like 3-second runs, which really, if you can't run in the threes, why run? So we felt like, you know, our guys are pretty tired. These late nights, they get a couple oil downs pretty soon. It's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning repair to get these cars ready. I just felt like, you know, after tonight, we won't worry about who qualified where. It's about who wins the race. So for the Snap-on Toyota team, we just felt like, hey, let's get our guys rested. Plus, we got behind on some tire mountings. We had some wobbly tires last night. So it's also a safety thing. You want your guys 100%, and they're not. So we figured, hey, let's give them the night off.
They're getting ready for tomorrow.
Right now, though, we got the Epping final round. Ron Capps, Alexis DeJoria.
I mean, I kind of agree with Cruz, but every time I did that, sat out of session, I'd go up the first round and something would break, and I think, you know, if I would have ran that fourth session, it would have broke then, and we would have had a shot to at least get the round win. But, you know, we'll see how it all plays out.
Well, it was Capps that was the Epping winner over Alexis. Capps has been 396.4, Alexis 399.7. .404 for Capps, 407 for Alexis. A nice move up for both of them as the Don takes in the numbers on the Napa car.
By that 407 doesn't even get Alexis in the top half of the field. That would put her in the number 9 spot.
And they're starting to throw fastballs in funny car where you basically have to run 12th to be in the to be sub 410.
Larry Dixon getting ready for first round of eliminations tomorrow. But Larry, we just heard Gary say that you're going to be out here for 8 of the next 12 races. How much will that consistency help you as a driver?
It's you have no idea. I mean, you can make as many runs as you want in your mind or in simulators and all that, but being able to, you know, strap yourself in a real car and go down the racetrack. Over the last calendar year, I think I'm up to 11 runs that I've had in a year, and I mean, it's nice to be able to get in a car and, you know, hold your end up, but to be better, you gotta make laps. And so, like, being able to go out more races. Our next race will be Denver. Then we'll skip the next 2 and then hit Brainerd. I get to go to Indy. I haven't run Indy in a couple of years, so I'm really excited about that. So just being able to get more runs, lap time. It's the only way you get better is make laps.
It's going to start off with Steve Torrance tomorrow in round 1.
Granted, Corey McLenithan did not make this race, but take Corey, Tony Schumacher, and Larry Dixon. You're talking about the 3 drivers that have made the most starts in Top Fuel. Robert Height and Bob Tasker III, not the best of friends, coming up to the racetrack right now, where the finals from Norwalk come your way tomorrow. It's Vincent Nobile's personal playground. The couple national event wins and a K&N horsepower to his credit. The finals, ESPN2, 9 o'clock. Coverage all day live on ESPN3, beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern here. The Summit Racing Equipment Nationals.
Well, right now with Robert Height and Bob Tasker. Bob Tasker is in that number 8 spot. Robert Height's going to try to get into the top half of the field. He's only not qualified in the top half of the field one time this season. That was in Gainesville when he qualified 10th. And guess what he did at that race, Dave?
I'm going to guess he probably won.
You're right. So it doesn't matter when you're on your game, but obviously Robert Height would love to get in the top half of the field with Bob Tasker. Would love to stay in the top half of the field and improve on the time that he already ran, a 4:06 lap time, which was a good pass.
Good feather in the cap for Tasker. This is a team that's been struggling, 12th in the points, 8 rounds out of 10, running out of races to get in to the top 10. Not going to happen for Bob. 4:05 for Robert Height, and he does get into the top half, knocking Tasker down to the number 9 spot.
And that 4:05 good enough for the number 6 spot. You're going to take a look at Bob Tasker on the right side of your screen. Smoked some tires early. Probably just got a little bit aggressive as they come trying to apply that power and clutch right at that point. Just didn't hang on. Oh, hey, you know, Saturday night, might as well go for it and see what it'll hold. Robert Height, though, 4:05. I think they might have been looking for a little bit more, but it did move him up into the top half.
Jack Beckman, Chad, had the first of 3 pair that will wrap up qualifying here from the Summit Racing Equipment Nationals. What's going to happen? Come on back, find out.
Our next pair will be Chad Head and Jack Beckman. We're with Ron Capps. You're talking about how tough it is to see once you get beyond the finish line. Tell us what it's like.
Scary. I mean, the clutch comes in, and then you get it. If you go back to last weekend's race, ESPN, you guys had the in-car camera we had, and even during the day and the night runs, you can see the clutch dust. Mike Dunn will tell you, it's wearing a lot of clutch. So about 600 or 700 feet, it's like pulling a black curtain up. And it's dark here anyway, but you're going 270, 280 miles per hour, and all of a sudden you can't see, and you're sort of, sometimes you look out and you watch the flames on the guardrail, believe it or not, see if you get closer or further away. That's how stupid it is. But guess what? It's the best thing about driving a funny car, man. I mean, 200, 300 miles an hour, and you can barely see with nitro flames out the side. Does it get any better? I don't think so.
You're certifiably nuts, my friend.
Perhaps I am.
What the heck is wrong with you people, Mike?
Me? I'm in the booth.
Now?
270 miles per hour. I can't see. It's fun. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about it. But it's fun, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you saw Ron. I mean, that car, you know, he wanted to keep off the center line. It kind of drifted towards the wall, and he probably was looking at that wall with the header flames off it to see right where he was at.
Never a dull moment. Certainly not when Jim Head joined us in the booth on Friday night for our ESPN3 show. It's his son, both Ohio natives. He's set now for qualifying. It's Jack Beckman out of California. There's those lights Capps was talking about there. They're by our TV compound. Mike, we should have just jumped out of the booth there and waved at him.
I did. He couldn't see me. Oh, hang on.
Wow. Fast Jack's car was making a move. Then he had to make an abrupt change there, get out of the throttle.
I'll tell you the one thing we're seeing about this racetrack, if you keep it in the groove, you can run a number. What's unusual, usually in the night sessions, you can let the car drift a little bit out of the groove, and it will still stick. But it's not the case here at Norwalk. Like I said, in the groove, you can make a very nice run. But the car wants to drift out, it's breaking into tire smoke.
Jack Beckman standing here earlier in this show. The conversation that you had last week at Joliet with the Greek, Chris Karamessinis. How fascinating to hear those Army stories. And I'm sure you've thought a lot about that since.
Well, just to be able to consider him a friend, you know, I get asked a lot, what's your most proud accomplishment in drag racing? And it's the fact that I can talk to Don Garlitz, that Karamessinis knows my name. The fact that those legends of the sport, that James Warren came up to me and asked for an autograph one time, it just gives me chills. I'm still a huge fan and fortunate enough to compete in these 10,000 horsepower cars.
Those stories of his days as a guard at the Nuremberg trials, one thing or another, so fascinating.
Oh, Gary, he's got stories. Trust me, he's got stories.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, you have an opportunity to run into him and Chicago break out the Chivas, and you won't have to go anywhere for a long time. The Greek breaks out an incredible storybook. Matt Hagan, John Force, second to last pair here for qualifying in funny car. Stat guy.
Matt Hagan, of course, won the last race. And I want to go back to 2006 when we had 11 different funny car drivers who won that year. So far this season, we're about halfway through. We've had 8. And last year, we only had 7. So the funny car class, a little bit more wide open than usual.
Yeah, that's the only disappointing thing for Hagan, Matt, is the fact that he didn't get the automatic berth for the first 7 winners into the Traxxas funny car shootout.
That just tells you how crazy funny car is. I mean, as competitive as it was last season, this season's just been unbelievable. Other than Robert Hight pretty much running away with the points lead for now. Second through 10th, second through 11th, and 12th is really, really tight. Right now, though, you got John Force and Matt Hagan. We're talking about that 3-second run. I think the conditions are possibly there, but the key is really being able to keep the thing in the groove. We see the cars that drift out of the groove really get loose out there through the middle, and being dark here and trying to see down that racetrack can be difficult for these drivers.
John was the track record holder, that is, until Dell's fourth flat run. Gonna break into the 3s. Oh, so close. 4:01.6 for John. As he moves up 1 position to the number 2 spot, Hagan will start race day number 4. Well, Mike, you've got the incremental numbers. Was anybody close?
And John had some good numbers and some good 8th mile speed, almost 274 miles per hour at the 8th mile, but you know, just missed it by a couple hundredths of a second. And go back and look at it, just a little bit here, a little bit there, and it would have made the difference between that 4:01 and 3-second pass. But you know, to run that kind of number, it's almost got to be a perfect pass.
And with Vincent Nobile and his dad, John, a fan brought this T-shirt by earlier this weekend. John, tell me about this car. When was this?
That was 1997, my IHRA days. And, of course, Vincent was always with me. I took him as much as I could racing. And one of the fans came by. And I remember the guy. I don't remember his name right now, but he came by and he said he's been trying to get here for 3 years. Unfortunately, he's a little sick, but I think he's going to be okay. And he's been trying to come here for 3 years to give Vincent this shirt, because Vincent signed it for him 3 years
back in 97.
Back in 97.
No, this was your first signature, Vincent. How old were you?
I was a whopping 6 years old. As you can see, I could barely write regular print there.
Very nice penmanship. That's a cool memento. Thank you.
No doubt. Thanks.
That's a good-looking shirt, a keepsake for sure. Vincent, I hope your handwriting got better. Must have. You got to be a college graduate finally. So the final pair here from Summit Motorsports Park, Norwalk, Ohio, and qualifying brings Tommy Johnson Jr. and that man, Del Worsham, in his DHL funny car.
For Tommy Johnson Jr., his team in the finals last weekend at Joliet had a fuel pressure problem. In fact, they lost fuel pressure during that final, in which they lost their teammate Matt Hagan. They thought that it might be a fuel pump problem, but they checked all of that stuff out this week. Found out that more than likely what happened, it rattled the fuel shutoff valve, closed, and so they put the car back together the way it was, and it's been running fine so far this weekend.
Well, for Tommy Johnson Jr., the 40th driver in Nitro history to have double-digit race wins, 2 in Top Fuel, 8 now in Funny Car. He has had a great 3-race swing. This the 4th. He's won 8 rounds. That's the most in Funny Car. Make-A-Wish team has been giving TJ a great car, to say the least.
Well, right now, I mean, it's the final pair to run 3 seconds. You got 2 cars that are definitely capable of being able to do that. The conditions are there, but like I said, going to have to keep it right in the middle of the groove.
They're getting after it. It's trucking. 4 flat again. Missed it by a foul once more.
Oh, come on, you're killing me.
3:21.88, though. That's a career best speed pass for Del Worsham. Not top speed of the weekend, though. John Force just a moment ago went 3:22. Oh, my, so close.
You watch a replay, all the numbers are there. 275 at the 8th mile, 321 at the finish line, but still missed it by 1/1000th of a second. Still a great pass.
Indeed it was for Del Worsham, who's the #1 qualifier for the 16th time in his career, the 9th time in Funny Car, and for his efforts gets a round 1 matchup with Jeff Deal. But check out our marquee matchup heading into tomorrow. How about Ron Capps versus Courtney Force? Courtney, the lower qualified driver.
Ron Capps leads head-to-head 9-4, but Courtney Force, the 2013 Winter National Champ over Ron Capps, and she kept him from winning the championship in 2012 when she took him out, handing the championship to Jack Beckman.
With John Force, we're seeing all these great numbers under these nighttime conditions, but we know we're going to race in about 82-degree temperatures tomorrow. How much difference is that going to make, John?
Oh, this is all hero stuff right tonight. That's what we're trying to do, flex our muscles. And Worsham, he still ain't happy over there running 4 flat. My old heap truck down through there ran 401. Jimmy Prock said, I think she'll run in the 3s, and we couldn't get it. But Coletta must be tuning that car over there, because she's a bad DHL right now. I'm going to check with Goodyear, make sure they're giving me the right tires. Come on, Worsham, my hero.
All right, Del, not once, but twice. By 1/1000th of a second, you missed getting into the 3s. Is that a big deal to you?
Well, it's cool to run in the 3s, you know,
Yes,
and I got to apologize a little bit to everybody because I thought we had done enough to pull it off there. And 4 flat again for the DHL Toyota Camry out here for our sponsors for Summit, Mac Tools, and everybody from Ohio, and the Bader family, and all the lights, and the crew chiefs. And I really wanted a 3 for them. And that's close, man. Shoot, let me drink some Mello Yellow here.
Goes good with your green hat.
It does, it does. Cool hat. Got another one of these hats. Car's been running great all season, and it's been qualifying well, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We get to run under some different conditions. Again, I'm sorry. We tried. Shoot.
See you tomorrow.
Qualifying, it is in the books. The second half of the 2014 NHRA Mello drag racing season starts with the finals Sunday night, 9 p.m. on ESPN2. For our entire crew, I'm Dave Reeve. See you tomorrow from Norwalk.